Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stratford Warriors podcast. I'm your host, Les Faders. Well, we've come down to it. It's the last week of the GOHL season. There was 27 games to go starting this morning, but 2 games are already finished, so we'll talk about those when we get there. My guest today, the voice of the St. Mary's Lincolns, none other than Mr. Spencer Seymour. Spencer, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir. I see you've run completely out of guests for this show,
Well,
and so
it's
you've
getting near the
called
end of the
me
year,
in.
right?
No one else is coming on.
Yeah. Well, hey, I do have an announcement for folks. We have a playoff preview show coming up the Tuesday after the regular season. Dylan Baker,
Oh my God, the best.
Christian Simmons.
Eh.
I told him to bring a friend from the East if he wants because he complained he got picked on the last time. It was just me and Dylan.
Have me back, and Dylan and I will gang up on him.
Well, all three of
He'll
us would gang
find
up
out
on
what
him
it's
then.
like to be bullied.
Yeah. Yeah. I told him to bring a friend. I said, bring somebody with you if you want. We're okay. But that'll be right after. So the Tuesday after the regular season, we're gonna have that podcast. So that's great. It should be a good show. Well, Spencer, a good weekend for you guys in St. Mary's. Not so well on this side of the board for Stratford. First of all, let's talk about Friday night. 3-1 win there for the Lincolns, but that was one heck of a hockey game in front of probably your largest crowd this year.
Oh, easily.
It was a playoff atmosphere with 1,255 uh, people in the building at least. Plus everybody else. Like they don't really count us media guys, so there was
No, they
quite a bit of
certainly
this.
don't. You know
Yeah,
that they certainly don't.
yeah. There's quite a few of them floating around. So it's a
Yeah,
big game
growing
when
by the day these
yeah,
days.
it's a big game when all the big guys come out of the woodworks for the game.
Well, and it's funny, it's a big game when I have to set up the broadcaster's table.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I love it when I come to St. Mary's. The table's already there for me.
Well,
There's other
I we
there's
try
other
we try
places I
our
have to
best.
search for stuff. Sometimes it's a search just for a place to broadcast from.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong there. There are
Yeah.
some places in our league, but I do give different arena staffers and whatnot the credit and the break. Like usually they're pretty. I can't really think of an arena where staff haven't been that helpful. And I mean
Uh,
I get it. Like
I could think of
they're
one, but
St.
it's my
Mary's.
nemesis. No, no,
St.
no. St.
Mary's, and
Mary's
that
is
wasn't
pretty
even
good.
the arena staff. It was just their flow broadcaster and
Yeah.
St. Mary's radio broadcaster, who was just an absolute, just an absolute a hole all night.
I,
Can you
I,
swear on this show?
you can swear on the show if you want. It's okay.
Okay, okay, that's
Doesn't
good to
doesn't bother
fucking
me.
know.
I don't think it's gonna bother the maybe 89 viewers we get, but it's 89 viewers.
Well, hey, I like to know. I maybe a lot of people come watch this show after church. Who knows?
Yeah, they could. I will say one thing. So that St. Mary's game, I looked at our radio mast viewership, and we had 250 listening on the radio at one point. Now it peaks up and down. Our average viewer was about 125, but we peak out at 250. That's pretty good for a regular season game.
Absolutely.
Um, Considering last year we broke the stream twice in Chatham in Game 7. Um, I've learned my lesson after that.
Uh huh.
When it says 450 slots, and you have 602 people tuning in,
Yeah.
something's gonna go down.
Yeah. Something's that math is not mathing.
Yeah, it didn't math out. All right, let's get back to Friday night. So a 3-1 win for the St. Mary's Lincolns. It was a heck of a hockey game, was it not?
It was a great hockey game. It was a really good hockey game. The Lincolns had a performance they badly needed. The Lincolns were not doing well going into that game against Stratford, and they had the 16 game win streak. But if you watch the last kind of handful of games in that 16 game win streak, there were red flags popping up.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing 60-minute efforts and performances, but they were still getting the wins, so it kind of went under the radar. And then the win streak ended,
Yeah.
and all of those warts that had been popping up showed up in a big way, and they persisted for several weeks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that game against Stratford that the Lincolns cleaned their act up. And they did it in a big way. I mean, that was easily the best game I've seen the Lincolns play in probably 3 weeks or close to a month.
Yeah, both teams were up for that game. I thought St. Mary's came out and really tried to let's just say steamroll through Stratford.
Yeah, that's a
At the
good way to put it. I mean,
first part of that game, there was a lot of heavy hits thrown out there on the ice.
well, in the first one, Jacob Drobny.
Oh,
4 or 5 seconds into the game,
yeah,
Drobny runs someone over. I'm standing there thinking, I don't think I've seen Drobny lay a hit like that all year. Where did that come from?
yeah.
I mean, if Jacob Drobny is going to start hitting like that, then this league might have a problem with the talent that kid has.
Oh yeah, a heck of a hockey player back there. But I thought Stratford responded well. They didn't get
They did.
down on it. They didn't. There was I've noticed between Stratford and St. Mary's, you don't get a lot of those scrums after the whistle, but we saw a few more of those Friday night. So
Well,
there's a
I
little
mean,
bit
when you're
of
getting those kind of hits right
oh
off the
yeah,
jump, that's how it's going to build up, right?
yeah. There's a little bit more hate. We talk about hate in a series in a game, right? Between two teams, Stratford and St. Mary's, they have a rivalry going. That's kind of it's a love hate relationship. There's really no anger involved, right? But
No,
it would take
it's a really weird relationship.
yeah,
We need to talk about that.
yeah,
Stratford and St. Mary's, it's a really weird rivalry in the sense of there's so much hate yet so much love
yeah.
in the rivalry. Like it's almost like we hate you and we love playing you and we want to play you in the playoffs, but also we hate your guts.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, we're gonna put you through the boards, but we're not gonna do it so badly we're gonna hurt you.
We're gonna give you flowers after the game.
Yeah, that is correct. I think all this rivalry really does lack is a playoff series. Um, I think one playoff series would really show the hatred between these two centers. It's not a hatred; it's a love. Like I said, it's a love hate
It's a
relationship.
rivalry.
We respect each other.
Yeah,
They're
like rivalries don't have to be hate filled.
no, they don't have to be Tampa Bay and Florida all the time.
No, no, or St. Mary's London.
Yeah, or St. Mary's London. Yeah,
Or anyone London.
yeah. I think Jeff Bradley said it best when I was talking to him. He said it's two teams that respect each other because they're built so much like each other.
Yeah.
And two parallel organizations, really.
Oh,
That have really,
absolutely. It's amazing. It's the similarities between the two teams are so very apparent in everything they do, and you just watch them on the ice, and it's the best example of it. They're coached virtually the exact same way,
yeah,
and that makes the game so interesting because it's truly a chess match. It's two teams who are doing a lot of the exact same things on the ice, trying to do it better than the other.
yeah, yeah. It was a weird game to start. Stratford did get the first goal, but it was just something about that game. Coward had to leave halfway through the first period, and everybody's, we're going, well, what's wrong? What's her? Well, we found out he broke his skate. Um, so it was kind of,
Which is the
equipment issue, right? It's an important piece of
when you
equipment.
hear it is, but when you and maybe I'm just I've had my brain broken from the Lincoln's injury list as of
Yeah.
late. When I hear player X broke his and then the next word out of your mouth is skate, I'm like, oh thank God. Oh
Yeah,
thank God.
you
Oh
guys are going
please.
through some injuries there in St. Mary's, and I was talking to the general before the game. I said, well, we're going to have to start 5 minutes early just to get through all the scratches for St. Mary's and all the additions. Um, you
If
got a lot of
if
injuries on that side, right?
if there's anyone who wants to become the official bubble wrap sponsor of the St. Mary's Lincolns, there is an opening right now, and I think we could use it. This is crazy. Like, I've never seen an injury rash like this with one team. I mean, this is just it's wild. We have a full line who's
Yeah.
not playing. I mean, they're not aligned together, but we have a full line worth of players not playing. And of course, I mean, there it's all the it's your two worst defensemen and three worst forwards. No, they're pretty good players. It's your
Yeah.
captain, it's your captain, one of the, and a key center, a key defensive center in Lacko, a just a ball of hatred and energy, Cohen Bidgood light in Declan Reddy, and on the back end, maybe your two most physically solid defensemen in James McGregor and Cam Keane, all out
Yeah.
of the lineup. Like, oh my god! Like we're getting to the
Yeah.
point where I'm almost in the lineup, and if if that happens, Les, we are screwed.
Yeah. And well, in Stratford, we got our number 2 offensive forward and our number 3 offensive forward on the shelf. I do have a little bit of inside that Colin Slattery will start skating Monday, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Might get him into a couple games before the end. Well, Stratford got the first goal in the first period, and the energy went out of the building a little bit, but it didn't take you guys long in the second to really amp that energy back up.
No, this team, they know how to respond when they get scored on. They don't usually fold when they get scored on. They're pretty good about responding. And the other thing is they were doing a lot of good things in the game. And this team is really intelligent in the sense of they know when they're doing the right things, and they know when they do the right things that usually leads to success. So if they're snake bit or if they're not getting the puck over the goal line like they were against Stratford, um, it doesn't phase them in the same way it might sort of bother other teams because they look at it as we're doing the right things and eventually it's going to work.
Yeah.
And eventually it did when
Yeah.
Vortman got that goal. Now, I'm sure they would have liked that a bit earlier, but unfortunately for St. Mary's and fortunately for Stratford, Noah Bender was having an all right game.
Yeah, he was solid back there.
He was
You know,
great.
he was coming in off 3 hot games in a row that he really played well
Yeah,
in. So his shutout streak went to about 148 minutes before St.
not
Mary's was able
bad.
to get a goal. So you can't complain about that. I thought he was solid. I don't think he let a bad goal in. That Lincoln Moore goal, that was a goal scorer's goal. A typical Lincoln Moore goal on that second goal there for you guys.
Well, I mean, when Lincoln Moore shoots the puck, I mean, it has a chance of going in. It doesn't matter who's in net,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter where it's from. Like I'm convinced Lincoln Moore could stand at the other end of the ice, shoot the puck as hard as he can the entire way down, and you'd look at the shot and go, "Yeah, I can understand why you let that in."
Yeah.
From the other end of the ice.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a big lad too. I saw a few times
They
like
don't call him Moose for nothing.
but I saw a few times Grady Murphy go at him, and Grady Murphy won't back down from anybody.
No, he won't.
Um,
He's got the Lucas Spagnolo syndrome of he doesn't know how big he is.
yeah, and we always say that because when Waterloo was last in Stratford, he ran into Boston Bork at center ice, and my line was, "That's a Mack truck hitting a compact car."
Yep.
But Grady never went down, and he went right back at him.
No, I can
Um,
see it. I
and
can
he
see it.
does he does that all the time. Him and Dom Marshall, and when Cohen's in the middle, they're just an unstoppable line out there sometimes because
Yeah.
they just don't have quit. They don't understand what stop is.
Do you know my joke about Boston Bork from
Yeah.
Waterloo? Okay. Here's my comment about Boston Bork. I talked to him before a game and I was asking him about growing up playing hockey, and he said how he developed a lot of his skill playing against his brother, playing road hockey against his younger brother, and he always beat his younger brother. And the most common score that Boston Bork would beat his brother by was 4-1. And his brother's name is Toronto Bork.
Oh, that's mean. Since we're not making the playoffs probably this year, and we're probably going to be sellers this week, but that's another story, and we'll talk about that one later.
You say that. You
Yeah.
say that. I don't think the Leafs are. I still don't think the Leafs are aware yet that they're sellers.
Yeah, I don't think they are, but they should be. Um,
They should have been 2 months ago.
yeah. So then you guys got the last goal to kind of seal the deal. Um, but I was so impressed with both teams. The energy that was on the ice throughout that whole game, just end to end. there wasn't a lot of fancy stuff in that game. It was a lot of, who's going to blink first, right? And
Yeah, well, you
everybody
don't have
says,
room for fancy stuff against these two
"Oh
teams.
no, no, no." And everybody says, "Well, it's 3-1." I say, "Yeah, but sometimes the score really doesn't reflect how the game was played because, you know, Stratford gets a couple of those, one of those shots in on Kobe Booth Husko, and I think it's a different kind of game, right? But
Yeah,
that
it
seems to
definitely could
be
have been.
Stratford's issue this weekend was the inability to put the puck in the net.
Well, and
Cost
it's
us.
funny. It's funny how we talked about there wasn't much fancy things except for the game winner, which was just an
Oh,
unbelievable
that was a
move by Colebrook.
beautiful goal. Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, you talk about a guy who's not really that fancy. I mean, Colebrook is just a bowling ball.
Yeah.
He's happy to run into people and things and pucks and nets and everything in the way to do what he needs to do. And then out of nowhere, he pulls that move.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful deke, and really the only time in the game that Bender looked like he got turned inside out.
Well, I think he was
Um,
looking for his other jersey because I think he lost it on that one because
yeah,
that was a heck of a goal by Colebrook. Um,
yeah,
and even I think Noah Bender would admit he got beat clean on that one.
yeah, and
But
you can't say that about Bender a lot lately.
yeah, no, he made he made a couple pad saves there, a toe save there in the first period. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that was in
I
the first
remember he
period. That
made.
toe save, that two in a row there.
I think he
Um,
made the one. There was the one. I think there was one in the second period where he stretched out and stopped Weir.
yeah,
And just a holy crap! How did he do that?
yeah, he's done that a few times. He gets that toe out there, and I'm just looking at going, man, he's such a big, lanky goalie that and the quick with the pads too.
Yeah,
Um, but he didn't look like he was fighting the puck. I thought he played well. Um,
yeah. That's easily the best he's looked against St. Mary's this year. Because he's weirdly struggled against the Lincolns.
yeah, and then you guys, did you outshoot us Friday night?
I think so, but
I think
it
so.
wasn't
Which
by a ton.
but it's sort of odd for the Warriors this year to be outshot in a game,
Yeah,
and lose. Usually it's the other way around. We outshoot everybody and lose.
yeah.
But they outshot that game. So you guys got the 2 points. You sort of vaulted yourself up into first place there for a little bit.
Well, we did that. We did that a
Oh, you did
couple
that
weeks
your
ago.
next game. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, did that. Well, actually, still,
No,
yeah,
you're back in second now.
we vaulted ourselves up into first, but I mean that top of the West is just
Oh,
it's stupid. It really
yeah.
is stupid. I mean, every 5 minutes it's changing.
Yeah. So right now at the top of the West, you got Chatham at 73, St. Mary's at 72, and Elmira at 71. The only problem with that is you guys have 2 games left. Chatham has 4 games left. Elmira has 3 games left.
Right.
Um, Stratford, we have 2 games left where you can't finish any higher than fourth. We can't finish any worse than fifth. London has 3 games left.
Gee, I wonder where you're gonna. I wonder who you're gonna play.
But we got help yesterday from Kamoka, right?
Yeah.
And London's got there's some tough games coming up. There's some wild games coming up this week.
Yeah.
Some big games. You guys have a big game coming up. Um,
Yeah. We got our last regular season game is against Elmira,
yeah, that could
which
be a
could very well.
that could
It,
decide where you finish, right?
yeah, absolutely it could.
Yeah,
Absolutely it could. I think at this point we're probably gonna look at second or third. Um, but I don't mind that. I think the way I look at it is 2 years ago when the Lincolns won the Western Conference, they were third in the regular season, and then last year when we lost in the conference final to Chatham, we were first in the regular season. So it doesn't like if we finish third, it's not like anyone can reasonably look at it and go, "Oh my God, St. Mary's beating Elmira, Chatham would be a big upset." No,
yeah,
it's three teams that are so close and there's so little differentiating. Any one of those teams can win.
yeah, yeah. I've resigned myself to the fact we get London in the first round. Do we start on the Wednesday night or start on the Friday night? That's what's left to be decided. Um, I'm hoping it's the Friday night because we go to Chatham on the Sunday night for the last game of the regular season.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of a break would be nice, but we'll have to wait and see. So you guys got the win again then Saturday night.
Yep.
Listowel came to town. 2 home games in a row for you guys. Did you have a nice crowd again Saturday night?
Yeah, it wasn't the 80,000 people hanging from the rafters that Stratford was, but
Yeah.
it was still a pretty good crowd.
Yeah.
Still a lot of people there and still a lot of excitement.
Which was the rare weekend for us because we were on the road both games this weekend.
Yes.
We went to Strathroy last night and couldn't score again. Seth Ronan played very well against us, and he did that Monday night. So, we knew what was coming. They ended up beating us 4-2, and they got the 2 points. They were the hungry team. You could tell they really wanted those 2 points, and they played for them. I was doing the broadcast, and I had some Strathroy fans behind me, and I said at the beginning of the third, I said, it looks like Strathroy's going to play for that tie again. And the guy looks at me, he shakes his head, yes. And then they score, and he goes, oh, hold on. He says, maybe they just want the 2 points and go away. And I'm sitting there going, it looks like it. And, it's a tough loss. It's 2 points that we don't get. But, in the grand scheme of things, it could cost us fourth place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, the way I kind of look at it with in the case of the Warriors here is okay, let's say you finish fifth and you
yeah,
have to go to London. You can still win the game.
yep,
You
yeah,
you're going there to win a hockey game. You're probably going to get at least a decent number of people making the trip down to London,
yeah.
and you're
Stratford
gonna
fans
have
travel
you
well.
have to win there anyway.
Yeah,
So
I
get it over with.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any sweeps in the first round, any series this year.
No,
Um,
not in the West.
Not in the West. In the I still hoping Caledonia finishes in that 8th spot and plays Cambridge because they might give Cambridge a little bit of a scare.
Yeah,
Um,
they could.
they could. Well, I'll have to talk to Christian on that one. He'll be all excited that I mentioned Caledonia giving somebody a scare. He was pretty peckish the last time we talked, and Caledonia wasn't doing so well. So,
There you go. There
um,
you go, Christian.
yeah. But in the Western Conference, I think all 4 series are going to be fabulous hockey series.
Yeah, and it's funny. Not only do I think there's not going to be any sweeps, I think the West is primed for an upset,
Yeah,
depending on how things shake out. One I looked at is if LaSalle were to end up playing Chatham.
yeah. Well,
That's
LaSalle's in
one.
6th right now.
Yeah, and I don't think it will now, but like a week or two ago when it looked like a possibility,
Yeah,
um, that was one that I looked at and went, if Chatham has a flaw, it's you can get behind their D pretty well.
yeah,
You can exploit that. You can get down low. You can get beneath. You can get below their D. And just the way LaSalle is going, I haven't seen a LaSalle Vipers team look this good in years. The way they're
yeah.
going lately,
Yeah,
they are looking just unbelievable.
yeah. And the best thing for us in Stratford is we can't play LaSalle in the first round. So we can't finish any worse than 5th and any higher than 4th.
I don't
So
want them.
yeah,
I don't want them.
one of you 3 at the top, you're going to get LaSalle, and that might be a rough ride.
Yeah, I'd really
Um,
like Elmira to take that bullet.
yeah, and then we also saw St. Thomas with a big comeback Friday night against Waterloo, and St. Thomas is now in that 8th spot. Waterloo lost this afternoon to LaSalle. Speaking of, LaSalle, right? They went into Waterloo and beat them 5-2. I watched a bit
Yeah,
of
this
that
is
game, and they beat them 5-2. It was not a close game really at all
this is
this
not the
afternoon.
time to be losing momentum.
No.
And it seems like Waterloo is doing that, and it seems like it seemed like St. Thomas was going to be out of it because they had a key injury as well, and then all of a sudden they're right back into it.
Well, St. Thomas looked like they got a little tired. These young kids.
Yeah,
Maybe a lot of games finally caught up with that team, but you know they were down. I think what was it 4-1
Yeah,
against Waterloo and scored 4 unanswered goals, right? And
yeah,
end up winning the game. There's just so much great hockey in this league right now.
yeah. And it's funny, like even the teams that are out of it that we're not talking about. I mean,
Well,
Camoka beat
Kamoka, right?
London.
Yeah,
Camoka beat London last night, and
yeah,
Listowel doesn't necessarily have the depth of really high end talent that some of these other teams have, but they're still structured. They're still very detailed. They're still incredibly well coached. They're hard to play against,
yeah,
and they just don't have the experience and the high end ability that they've had in recent years. But they're going to be back.
yep,
They're gonna get a couple. They're gonna get some new guys coming in and augmenting what they currently have and the young guys that they're developing, and they're gonna be back,
yeah,
even though they're second last in the conference. Um, they're right there,
yeah,
and they just need a few more pieces to be right back into things.
yeah. There's I'm just gonna take a look here, Spencer. There's some key games coming up this week. Not nonetheless tonight in Elmira, you got London and Elmira, so that's a key game for both teams, both Stratford and Water and St. Mary's, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and there's one that if London doesn't show up for
yeah,
that game, given how the last time went against Elmira when they got hammered 9-2, I'd be very surprised and very disappointed in the Nationals.
yeah, yeah. And then London's in Strathroy's in London on Wednesday night. Strathroy's playing well. LaSalle's in uh, uh, Wednesday night. Chatham and Elmira. That's a huge game coming up this week.
Knowing my luck, but that's going to go to overtime.
Yeah,
They're both
it'll be
getting
a
a point.
yeah, it'll be yeah. And your guys are in St. Thomas on Wednesday night, so that's a big game for St. Thomas, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, there's another one. It's funny, the rivalry that exists between St. Thomas and St. Mary's may not seem overly apparent when you look at it, but the rivalry is there for the coaching staffs because Jeff
Yeah.
Bradley and Jason
Yep.
Williams have played each other every year in the playoffs, and Jeff has come out on top in each one of those battles. So I think every time Jason Williams coach team and Jeff Bradley coach team plays against each other, there's some maybe not hatred, but some intense rivalry there.
Yeah. Another on Friday night, your last game of the regular season, Elmira's in St. Mary's. That could be a massive game.
Yeah, it could.
That could be the
It
difference.
could.
That could be the difference between first, second, or third, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta be honest. Every time like thinking about these two games against St. Thomas and Elmira, I'm not even thinking about placement right now. I'm just thinking about God. No one else get hurt.
yeah. Yeah,
For the
because
love of everything that is holy.
yeah.
No one get hurt.
We yeah.
Callum McCauley came up last night. He got knocked down and he came up and he was holding his arm. I almost threw my broadcast notes away.
Yeah.
I almost just
Uh,
hucked my book across the arena. Like, no.
yeah. Cruz Ferguson got railroaded into the end boards right down in front of us last night in Strathroy, and he was down holding his head, writhing in pain. And I thought, oh God, no, we cannot,
Yeah.
we cannot lose Cruz Ferguson. I know he scored scored a couple games ago, but you just need him. He's a type of guy. He gets hot in the playoffs. That just could be the difference in a couple series there. Quinn Kiffer, he's been Quinn Kiffer the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Just putting up the points, right? He's not all
Yeah.
flash and dash, not all the goals, but he's getting the assists here and there, and he makes it rough on some teams out there on the ice.
Yeah, he
Um,
does.
just
Yeah, he
just
does. I love watching Quinn Kipfer play.
yeah, his puck possession skills are fabulous.
Yeah.
Um, and so then we have the big matchup. Waterloo comes to Stratford on Friday night, and everybody
That's gonna
knows
be
the
a
rumors.
bloodbath.
Yeah, everybody knows the rumors out there, and this could be this or that, right? I'm not gonna speak towards it. We know that there are probably changes coming next year in the go. So from a rivalry standpoint, this will be a big game. From 2 teams that seem not to be able to play anything less than overtime or a shootout. Stratford was able to shut them out the last time. That's a big game for us because that's a big, important 2 points. If we get some help, a couple teams beat London, that sort of gives us a chance, right, to get that home ice. But I'm worried about that Sunday night game in Chatham if it has any meaning for either team. Because there is no love lost between these two teams, especially the
No.
way Chatham came into the barn 3 weeks ago there and just wiped Stratford all over the ice. And
Well, I mean that's got to be it for Stratford at least is you have that bad taste in your mouth.
yeah,
You have to
and
you have to play that way.
it goes back to the playoff series last year, right? 7 game
Yeah.
series, and there's some love hate. There's no love and hate. It's just all hate between those two teams.
Yes.
Um,
Yes,
and
very
when
much so.
Chatham comes into Stratford and dominates the way they did 3 weeks ago, I think the boys will be ready for Sunday night if it has meaning. If it doesn't, you know, maybe we do bring some AP players with us and they get a chance to play. Because Stratford really, they've only used 2 all year, which is knock on wood.
Yeah.
We've been able to stave off because we have guys on our team like Aaron Green that can play D and forward and
Right.
step in where you need them. Lately, they've been playing 7D and 11 forwards, just trying to limit some of the ice time of the defense because Stratford they don't let a lot of shots in on their goaltenders.
Mhm.
So the defense works pretty hard here in Stratford. Same in St. Mary's. Your goals against are really low again this year. Stratford's is low down there again. It's just the similarities between Stratford and St. Mary's. You don't let a lot of shots. You don't let a lot of goals in, and you go from there. But I just think we're coming up to a wild playoff season, and the first week and a half, 2 weeks, might be some of the best hockey, and then the second round, you could just pretty much throw your coin up in the air, and who comes out of that healthy?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. The first round is going to be great.
Yeah,
The second round, oh my god, the
yeah.
second round's
It could
going to
be
be
some of the
awesome.
best hockey we've seen in years in the
And
go.
the conference final,
Yeah,
we we might see the best conference final we've seen in a long time.
yeah, yeah. That's saying a lot considering last year Chatham and St. Mary's they put on a good show. Um,
That was a great conference final.
yeah, it
And
was a hard fought series, right?
oh, absolutely it was. And I mean, talk about hard fought it. I mean, Chatham went up 3-1.
Yep.
Chatham went up 3-1 and the Lincolns clawed back. And it's funny. I look at that series, and that series is proof positive that fans can make a difference.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because game 6 in that series was in Chatham, and I mean you know
Yep.
what Chatham's like. You
It's a
know how hard
hostile
that is.
environment.
It's isn't it though? Of
Yeah.
all the hostile environments, it might be the most.
Yeah. I had
It's
fans
hard.
call me out on that last year because I called it a hostile environment on Flow one night and they picked up on it. And I'll stand behind it. It's a hostile environment in Chatham on a regular season game night. On a
Yeah.
playoff game night, it's tenfold.
Well, I have routinely had to apologize to my listeners for
I
things that have come over the microphone from the what I like to refer to as the Bud Light section. Um,
I know
but
which side the
that
section I
was
was in last year, and the guy beside me started yelling at me, and I put my hand over my mic, and somebody said, "Oh, they could hear the muffling, arguing, going back and forth," and but
But like I remember that game 6, and a big Lincoln's contingent went down to Chatham,
yeah,
and there was like a whole section of Lincoln's fans sitting right beside the St. Mary's bench, and everyone after the game, and the Lincolns won, and everyone after that game, from Jeff Bradley to players, everyone talked about the first thing they would say, the first thing they thought of, the first thing they said was that made a difference.
yeah,
Hearing them, seeing them the way they were, it made a big difference, and that really stood out to me because
yeah,
I never really heard in our league an instance where that the fans were a major turning point and a major factor like that. But Game 6 against Chatham, everyone with the Lincolns, to a person, said no. That's where it started.
Yeah, and I thought it kind of interesting last year in the playoffs. There, I talked to Brandon Feasey, now the head coach at Chatham, after Game 7 against St. Mary's, and we talked a little bit about we hadn't seen each other between the Game 7 Stratford and Chatham final and that final. We talked about that, and he said, really playing these two teams was like playing mirror teams. He said, but Stratford put the scare into them, and he said we got up 3-1. We thought, oh, thank God, but he said St. Mary's just clawed their way back into it.
Yeah.
And he said,
and that was, and it's funny. Chatham had more FU.
oh yeah,
That's where the difference ultimately was.
Yeah.
Chatham just had more FU. We're taking this.
Yeah.
We're getting this done, and that's something that this year's Lincolns has more of by design, and it's something they took from Chatham last year was that FU in their game.
Yeah.
There's just more. No, we're taking this.
Yeah, they sort of get that mentality. We're going to beat you on the score sheet, but we're also going to beat you up on the ice.
Yeah.
And make not beat you up physically. They're going to make it physically hard for you to play a full 7-game series. And
Yeah.
You get to that 7th game and you've been pounded into the boards every chance. They never
Yes.
quit on a hit. They never let anything up. And that's playoff hockey in Junior B, right?
Boston Bruins hockey.
Yeah. That's it is. We'll keep hitting you till the hitting's over.
Yeah.
I just can't wait. I honestly cannot wait.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. We have to talk about this because it's you and I.
Yeah.
Let's live in a hypothetical world for a second.
All right.
St. Mary's and Stratford in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do I get a security detail at the Almond?
No, because it's Stratford fans fighting Stratford fans.
Yeah, it might not be.
I know. There will be security around because they tend to hang around where you usually stand now, and do your game from.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, because people don't know the backstory. The last time, or not the last time, the time before Spencer Seymour was in Stratford, a fight broke out down in front of him between two Stratford fans. I was up in the booth, and all I saw from the whole thing was the beer can come on the ice.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, I didn't think the referee did such a bad job on that call. But
no, yeah.
And then Chase looks down. He goes, there's a little bit of a fight going on down here beside me. I've seen it all in Stratford, and that's why I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Like
totally
Game 7 against Leamington, or one of the games against Leamington in the Southern Cup final. The cops had to go down and break a fight behind the Leamington bench.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, and
that was wild.
Yeah, but I still, when I was a young kid, going down to Stratford Colton games, and they had that, that low glass on the side like they do in Strathroy. I remember fans reaching over, literally grabbing players by the helmet. Or if there was going to be a sweep, there'd be brooms in the stand, and somehow, opposing players might have felt that on the top of their head a little bit. But
yep,
it's just
Okay, I'm going to do a PSA. I'm going to do a PSA.
All right,
for everybody.
Yeah.
Don't get in a fight at a hockey game, and don't throw things on the ice at a hockey game, and don't scream obscenities at a hockey game.
Yeah.
100%. Cheer all you want. Cheer, yell, be boisterous, be fans, but let's maybe not get in 10 bell brawls in the crowd.
Yeah. Well,
Just for that, someone next time I'm at a game,
Yeah.
someone's gonna walk up and just punch me right in the face.
Yeah, or they'll pour their beer over your head. That might happen.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
it might make my hair look better.
Yeah. Usually if there's a fight in the stands, the bar did well that night. So
Well, you know what? Every time St. Mary's and Stratford plays, I know the bar did well that night.
yes. I noticed that Friday night there was a lot of people coming back from the bar and their hands were always full.
Yep.
So it was probably a big night for you guys at the bar, and I'm sure a lot of Stratford fans contributed it to that as well. Because
I heard no complaints.
yeah,
I heard no complaints.
it was a great crowd. It was a great crowd.
It was awesome,
Yep.
and just a very respectful crowd
Yep.
for the most part.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Didn't have any of the nonsense, which is great. That's all you want.
Yeah, that's all we want. Yeah, so it comes down. This is it. This is the end of the regular season here, Spencer. We're coming down to the brass tacks, as they like to say. We're going to get into that first round. Like I said at the beginning of the show, next Tuesday, playoff preview in the GOHL with the guys from 519 Sports. And you never know who might show up on the show. Right now it's Dylan and Christian. You never know. Maybe Brandon Bax might make an appearance. Darren Stevenson somehow gets his face on the show a lot more lately. Brandon says last time I had Brandon on, he goes, I'm bringing a special guest, and he brought Darren. So that was okay. I always love talking to Darren because, he does great things with 519 Sports and the the way he highlights the local sports in this area.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you do some work with him, and you guys do a great job covering everybody. It's a lot of stuff on the go. Brandon's a busy guy doing all the scheduling and that. And
Yeah, I don't know how those guys pull it off. I don't know how they do it. It's unbelievable what they do.
yeah, he's been in Stratford a lot lately because the weather's always bad here, and it's easier for him to get from Mitchell to Stratford than it is anywhere else.
Yes.
Plus, he likes it because when he comes, he's always on the broadcast. And that was a funny thing. Friday night, Spencer came up. Am I supposed to be on the broadcast tonight? Because we usually have Spencer.
I totally
on,
forgot.
Yeah, we usually have Spencer on, but we were having computer issues. Had him again last night in Strathroy. I think maybe it might be time. Hint to the hockey club. We might need a new laptop. It just says everything's green when everything's not so chipper in the land of Warriors radio. But
Yeah, I've been
what
there.
do you do? You've been there.
Yeah,
Both of us.
It's always fun. It's always fun when you have I have the thing going and it has the clock running that says how long it's been on, and it says we've been on for 25 minutes or whatever, and we get to like last 2 minutes of the period, and I look at my phone and someone sent me an email. Hey, what's going on? Why aren't you on air? And I find that we haven't been on air all this time, even though it said we were. So.
I had that last night in Strathroy. We started off the pregame broadcast. Everything was fine. I heard it on my radio or on my phone. The bars are moving up and down, so the sound's coming across.
Yeah.
I get a text message at the end of the first from Wendell Archer. He said the radio's not working. I'm like looking at it going, everything's green, though. It's all green. Check on my phone. Sure enough, the stream's not working, but we do our best, though, to keep everybody going.
What we're saying is technology sometimes is a big, fat, dirty liar.
Yes. And like I like to tell people, I'm the play-by-play guy. I'm the sound technician.
Yes.
The IT guy. When we're at home, I'm also the flow broadcaster and when Flo tries to send a text message, and I don't look at my phone, honestly, when I'm trying to call the game. But I did hear.
It's unnatural to look down at your phone and be like, "I'll just send a quick text here."
Yeah. I get lucky. Yeah, I get lucky usually in Stratford. The messages go to Chase Windsor, our video coach, and he sits beside the general, and he'll usually throw the phone up, and I'll look at it and go, well, everything's on. We're okay. And the blue lights are on the codex box, and it says we're streaming fine. It's not my fault.
But please keep texting us if it doesn't work.
Hey, honestly, send the messages.
Yes.
I might not reply to you till the next day or after the game, but By then what's done is done.
Yeah, yeah, and also text us if a big trade in the NHL breaks.
Yeah.
I just thought of this because I'm going to St. Thomas.
Yeah.
The last time I was in St. Thomas, I looked down at my phone, and there's messages and missed calls and missed video calls, and I'm like, oh no, what's going on? It's not working. And it wasn't because it wasn't working, it was because Quinn Hughes had got traded to Minnesota.
Yeah. That was a big move there. We're getting down to it, Spencer, in the NHL. Trade deadline's coming up to it.
I can't wait.
Um
That's,
the
it's
the
my favorite
Leafs,
time of the year.
yep. The Leafs they're not going to rebuild. They're going to have to retool somehow. The way I look at it, if we can get a first round draft pick for Bobby McMahon, you take that trade every day of the week. I
Yeah.
don't care what else they want. We have no other draft picks, so might as well take that one.
Well, so I like to think about how far away would this move be? Like when I think about kind of deals and trades, like how far away would this be? So let me throw this at you. Bobby McMahon and Philip Myers
Yeah.
for Andrew Mangiapane and a first round pick. How far away are we from real life? Because
I think
Edmonton gets the cap space,
it's a
and
deal.
I think it's close,
I think honestly, I think that's a deal.
and I'd do it
It's the
if I
first
was
round draft.
Toronto.
It's the first round draft pick that Toronto needs.
Yeah,
They don't have anybody. It's highly unlikely they're going to win the draft lottery and get a Gavin McKenna because we don't even own that pick.
right.
I don't even think it's.
Well, it is at least it
Is
is
it
top
lottery?
five protected. It is top
It's top.
five
Okay,
protected.
so it's top five protected. I didn't think
Yeah,
it was. I didn't think it was lottery protected, but it is at least top five. So,
yeah, it's top
but then
five.
we have to. It's. I saw they were talking about it the other day, and it's so weird that happens if Toronto gets the top five pick, then they have to give somebody else this, and it could be a player in the off season, and
Yeah.
whoever wrote that trade up, kudos to them.
Well, it's not just one trade. It's two.
Yeah,
So
because
where it
Washington.
because it Philly. It was
Oh, Philly.
it was
Yes.
the
Yep.
Lawton deal.
Yep.
It was um the Scott Lawton trade. They traded a conditional first and Grabenkin for Lawton and a conditional first to Boston with Minton for Carlo,
Yeah.
with the assumption that they weren't possibly going to be in the lottery, and now they're
Yeah.
shot to hell.
Yeah. But you know, the Atlantic Division is Tampa Bay is the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
I think they're 23-1 in the last 24 games or something like that.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's disgusting. Colorado, I still think is the cream of the crop in the NHL. If they lose 12 games, if they lose 12 games, I'd be surprised.
I they have to be your cup favorite right now.
Oh, they have to be, especially if they get everybody healthy again.
Yeah.
Even with the guys hurt, they're still beating everybody. What do you think might be the biggest surprise? Either team not making the playoffs or a team surprising everybody in the playoffs.
It's funny because I think Toronto has to be up there. Just because they've always been a playoff team.
Yeah.
And I thought they were a playoff team. I didn't necessarily think they were going to win the cup or anything, but they to me seem like a playoff team. Here's what I'll tell you that is a surprise. Actually, two surprises for the exact same reason: Buffalo and Detroit.
Oh, Buffalo, 15 years, they're going to make the playoffs finally.
Finally.
Yep.
Like this has been 15 years of maybe they have it now.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to. Yeah, I don't think they're going to roll over in the playoffs either.
No, I mean
they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Like you've got Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, and Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, you've got a shot.
Yeah, that Dahlin kid, he was a good pick for a team at one time, but didn't work out.
Dahlin?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of a different?
No, Rasmus Dahlin's always been a great pick for Buffalo, and I didn't think it was going to work out, but it came around. So
Yeah, you can't say it didn't work out now, can you?
no, everybody thought that was going to be the one they have to trade him again, but Buffalo seems to. I think they might finally have the right GM in place that knows what he's doing in
Well,
Buffalo.
they certainly don't have the wrong one anymore.
No, no. I don't know if Pagula still thinks that's just his candy store where he can just do whatever he wants with. No, you know.
I I've I'm trying to stop thinking about what billionaires in general think
Yeah,
because every time I do, it just makes me mad.
yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
it's a great time of year. Spring trainings, back on. The Jays are
Now,
back playing.
now there's a team I'm interested in.
Yes, they Dylan Cease pitched today and he looked well.
I
Um,
love,
Ponce
and
pitched.
it's so funny. 18 months ago, I couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
I was so uninterested in the Toronto Blue Jays. Couldn't have cared less.
Well, I honestly, in May of last year, I wrote them off. I gave
Yeah,
up on them because they were horrible in May of last year. They were a horrible baseball team.
I gave up on them before the season started.
Yeah, yeah,
I was no. This is Shapiro and Atkins. No,
yeah. And it's been
no,
a
I
long
don't believe
time.
you.
It's been a long time that I've gone through an off season and thinking, oh, when does ball come back? Because I can't
Yeah,
wait to watch the Jays come back and play again.
and you know what's funny? It's not for me. It's not even the stars.
Yeah,
It's not even obviously the stars are the stars.
yeah, but it's the
I
Ernie Clemences and the
Ernie
Schneiders and the
Clement,
guys like that. Yeah,
Nathan Lucas.
yeah,
I would die for Nathan Lucas and Ernie Clement.
yeah.
If you said, Spencer, you have to take a bullet for Nathan Lucas and Ernie Clement, I would do it. I'd be like, yeah, sure.
That's
I
awful
love
big.
those two.
That's awful biggie of Spencer to put your body
It's
on the line for
amazing.
those two guys.
Well, it's not much of a body to put on the line, so what am I getting upset about protecting
Yeah,
it for?
yeah,
But like just it's not that they are the best players in the world. But every time they step up to the plate, you know you're getting everything from them.
yeah,
They may not pull it off,
yeah,
but you know you're getting everything they have.
yeah. And the biggest problem with the Jays doing what they did last year is this year coming by tickets is not an easy thing anymore.
No,
And they cost you a bit more too. But
yeah.
when you put the kind of money they put into that stadium, I guess they got to get their money back somehow. Big news this week: Max Scherzer's coming back.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah,
You know
I
what?
saw
You know what he is? You know what he is? He is the crazy guy on a team that you need.
Yeah, well, exactly. He's
Sports
that crazy uncle of the family, right?
sports teams don't win
Yeah,
unless they have at least some psychopaths.
yeah,
And he is a full-blown, oh, that guy is a crazy person.
yeah. And did you when they announced that he was coming back, did you notice somebody brought up that old Canadian Moments commercial and Scherzer yelling at Schneider?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
I
love
mean
when people and
that's a
that's
heritage
perfect.
moment in this
It
country,
it
right? I
is.
mean,
It is 100% because he told him I'm staying out here and you're crazy if you think you're pulling me off this mound.
and you know why? You know why that I really like that? He doesn't do that every single time.
Nope.
Like there was another game where he got pulled and he was like, "Yup, here's the ball."
Yeah. But he knew he was in the groove,
He
right?
knew he had it,
Yeah.
and he was just, "No, go to hell.
Yeah.
Go to hell. I know I have this."
Yeah.
And
And
credit to Schneider for pulling him because I
yeah.
think back, like imagine if John Gibbons was still the manager.
There
Those
probably
two
would have been a
gotten
fight on
fist
the
fight on the
mound.
mound.
Yeah.
They would have
Yeah.
just started throwing punches at each other.
All right, Spencer, we're going to have to start wind this down now. We're getting to the point where people probably have stopped listening to us.
I think that happened about 2 minutes in when they saw my name
Yeah.
pop up.
Yeah. When I release it, probably Monday or Tuesday, and I release it, I'll have to look at the averages and see when the viewership drops off. If it drops off at 259, I know it's all your fault.
Yeah, well, that's how it usually goes.
All right, Spencer. So we're getting down to it. GOHL playoffs coming up. Baseball's back. NHL trade deadline. It's a fun time of year to be a sports fan and a sports broadcaster, and all the other hats you wear, and sports editor, and whatever you do over there in St. Mary's to keep yourself busy. Um, Nothing but luck to you in St. Mary's, and hopefully we can meet up this spring and have a dandy of a playoff series between those two teams. Because all I'd have to say is, I think the budgets would be okay for both teams after that series.
I think you would have sellouts before you could finish saying St. Mary's versus Stratford.
Yeah. All right, Spencer. Thank you for doing this, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So we're gonna finish it off here, and we'll be back next Tuesday. I'm going to have the playoff preview. We'll see who else we get. Dylan Baker's joining, and Christian Simmons. We'll talk the whole league, as Christian's the big Eastern Conference guy. He said he was going to try and bring on like an Alec Murray with him, but we'll have to wait and see, because that could go to the dogs after that show. Alex is he's a great interviewer. He's great to be on the show. Talk to you later, folks. Have a good night.